We continue now at the top of Daf Mem Daled Amud Beis Meseches Avodah Zara. This is Avodah Zarah Daf 44b. This daf is sponsored by Alexander Rosenfeld in memory of Erna Winston. Thank you for your sponsorship. If you'd like to sponsor an Avodah Daf, see the description box below, and see the description box below to see how you can support this channel. The Mishnah says, Shoal Proclus ben Pluspus as Rabbi Gamliel. Proclus ben Pluspus, who was an Ovid Kochavim, he was an idol worshiper, he asked Rabbi Gamliel, Ba'ako and Akko, he asked him the following question. Shaya Rochetz b'merchatz shel Aphrodite, because Rabbi Gamliel, he was bathing in a bathhouse of Aphrodite. The bathhouse was standing in the courtyard of this Avoda Zara Aphrodite. This was a Greek Avoda Zara. And so therefore, Amar Lei, therefore he said to him, Kasa b'toraschem, how can you bathe in this bathhouse? Isn't it written in your Torah? Lo yidbak b'yorchem u'umem en acherim, which essentially means you can't get any benefit from Avoda Zara. Ibnei mato rochetz b'merchatz shel Aphrodite, why are you bathing in the bathhouse of Aphrodite? Amar Lo, and Sir Gamliel, he said to him, Ein meshiven b'merchatz, I'm not allowed to give you a response. I can't say divrei Torah in a merchatz in a bathhouse. Ucheshayotza, and then when he left there, Amar Lo, he said to him, Ani lo basi b'gvula, I did not come into its boundary. He ba b'gvuli, it came into my boundary, meaning to say the merchatz was really there first, and then came in the statue, therefore it's not an issue. And furthermore, Ein omrim nase merchatz noi l'Aphrodite, we don't say that the merchatz, the bathhouse, is an adornment for Aphrodite. Ela omer nase Aphrodite noi l'merchatz, rather it's the statue Aphrodite that becomes like an adornment for the bathhouse, meaning the bathhouse is the main thing, and that's why it's not a problem. And the Mishnah continues at the two dots, Davar Acher, another explanation that we can give. Im nostim l'cha mammon harbe, if people gave you a lot of money, you wouldn't enter before your Avodah Zara naked, ubal keri, and you'd be a bal keri, somebody who saw an emission, umashtin b'faneh, and you urinate in front of it. No one would do that to an Avodah Zara. But this statue over here, omedes al pi habiv, it's on top of the drain. The cholam mashtinin lefaneh, everybody's urinating in front of it. And lo nemar ela Eloheim, it says the issue is their gods, which means as shenoeg bo mishum eloah aser, only if you treat it like a god, like an idol, then it's forbidden. But over here, as she'eno noeg bo mishum eloah, if you're not treating it like a god, if you're not treating it like an idol, so then mutter, then it is permitted. And Rashi explains, Proclus min avodas kochav haya, again, he was an Oved Avodah Zara, Aphrodite shem avodas kochav, that was the name of an idol, v'amerchatz omid b'chatzer, like we said, the bathhouse stood in the courtyard of this, where the statue was. Ein meshimin divrei Torah b'merchatz l'fisha adam omid arm, I can't answer with divrei Torah in a bathhouse, because the person is standing there naked. He ba bigvuli, it came into my boundary. The bathhouse was there first. That's made the merchatz, the bathhouse is public, it's for everyone. You can't just put a statue there and then steal from the public. Another answer, another response, we're not saying that the bathhouse is an adornment for Aphrodite. The merchatz lav davar noyu, the merchatz is not something that's used as an adornment. The Aphrodite is like an adornment for the bathhouse. Nimtza shehi misham shaso, so the statue is really serving the bathhouse. V'hitvela v'huikar, and it's really secondary, and the main thing is the bathhouse. And biv, like we said, is charetz also b'karka, lotzi shofchan l'Rosh Hashanah, it's like a drain where everything pours into the Rosh Hashanah. And lo nemar b'torah le'isr Elohayim d'chsiv abei ta'abdu, and again, it has to be something that's actually treated as an idol, as a god. And the Gemara says, v'heichi avid hachi, now how did he do this? Rashi explains the question. How does he even answer in the bathhouse that you're not allowed to say divrei Torah in a bathhouse? That is saying divrei Torah in a bathhouse. You're not allowed to respond in the merchatz. Even if you're going to say it in a regular mundane language, you won't say it in Lashon HaKodesh. Even if you're not speaking in Lashon HaKodesh, still what you're saying, these are words of holiness. How could he say anything? As the Gemara continues, but Rabbi Bar Bar Chana said that Rabbi Yochanan said, "B'chol makom mutar lahara." In all places, one could think in words of Torah, "Chutz mi beis hamerchatz mi beis hakisei," except for the bathhouse and the bathroom. V'chitema b'lashon chol. And if you're going to say again, it was in a mundane language, it wasn't in Lashon HaKodesh. Amar lei, that's what he said to him. He said it in that language. V'amar Abaye, but Abaye said, "Dvarim shel chol." If you're saying something that the subject matter is mundane, so mutar la'omrim b'lashon kodesh, you could say it in Lashon HaKodesh. And Dvarim shel kodesh, but if you're saying holy words, Asur la'omrim b'lashon chol, it's still forbidden to say, even if you're using a mundane language. The point is, it has to do with the content of what you're saying, not the language that you're speaking. And so the Gemara continues and answers, Tana was taught, Kesheyatza, really when he left the bathhouse, that's when Amar Lo, that's when he said to him, Ein Meshivin B'merchatz, that we're not allowed to respond in the Beis HaMerchatz. And the Gemara continues, Amar Reb Chama bar Yosef, and the Bach here changes it to Amar Rabbi Oshia Barivi. Reb Chama bar Yosef says that Reb Oshia Barivi says, Teshuva Genuva, it was really a deceitful answer. Hashiva Rebbe Gamliel La'oso Hegmon, that Rebbe Gamliel answered that official. It wasn't really a true answer. But Va'ani Omer, but I myself say, meaning Reb Chama bar Yosef is saying, I myself say, Ein a Genuva, the answer was not deceitful. And Ma Genuv say, what would have been the deceitful answer? Again, according to Reb Oshia, that it was deceitful. What was deceitful about it? Dekamar Lo, because he said to him, Zu omedes al pi habiv, it's standing over the drain, v'chol adam mashtin b'foneh, and everybody urinates in front of it. But what kind of response was that? V'chi mashtin b'foneh mai have, even if people urinate in front of it, who cares? V'amar Rava, but Rava said, Pa'or yochiach, that Baal Pa'or, which is a kind of Avoda Zara, which you're supposed to defecate in front of it. That proves, shemefarin lefanav b'chol yom, we defecate in front of it every day, ve'eno batal, that doesn't nullify it. So why is that relevant? But Vani Omer Eina Genuva, but again, Reb Chama bar Yosef says, I say it's not deceitful, because Zu Avodah Bekach, when it comes to Pa'or, that was the way of serving Pa'or. That's why it doesn't nullify. V'zu ein Avodah Bekach, but here by Aphrodite, the way of serving it is not by urinating in front of it, and therefore that is a relevant argument. And the Gemara continues, Amar Abai, Abai says, Genufta mehacha, it's a deceitful answer from here, from the following. Because he says to him, Ani lo basi b'gvula, I didn't come in its boundary, v'hi ba b'gvuli, it came into my boundary. But v'chi ba b'gvula, I have it, but if he came in its boundary, what difference would that make? V'atanan, but we learned in the Mishnah, Avodas kochavim sheyesh la merchatz ogina. Let's say you have an Avodah Zara, and there's a bathhouse, or there's a garden over there, nenin mehen shalo b'tova, you can get benefit from that bathhouse or from that garden, as long as it's shalo b'tova, you don't thank the priest. V'yein nenin mehen b'tova, but you can't get any benefit if you're going to b'tova, if you're going to say thanks to the priest. That's problematic. And so therefore, even if it would be a situation where the bathhouse came second, that the Avodah Zara was there first, but still, we're allowed to get benefit from the merchatz or the gina. And Rashi explains, what it means is, even if the Avodah Zara was there first, lemerchatz, it came before the bathhouse. What difference would that make? Shalo b'tova, as long as it's shalo b'tova, meaning shalo yachzik tova lakomrim, as long as you don't give thanks, you don't tell the priests, thank you for what you're doing, pay the priests. Uvahana lo mitzvah. The point is that it is not, the bathhouse is not aser bahana. Kedaminu lakamon, we're going to say this later on, ein hektish la'avodas kochavim, ad sheyakrev lefana b'tekrovis. There's no concept of hektish to Avodas Kochavim, meaning if a person consecrates something to Avodah Zara, that doesn't make it consecrated to the Avodah Zara. It's not like in the Beis HaMikdash where you can make something hektish to the Beis HaMikdash unless you actually offer in front of it with an offering. But other than that, you don't have that concept of hektish. And so therefore, again, that's why Abaye says it's really a deceitful answer, because it doesn't even matter. The merchatz is not really going to be prohibited to get benefit from. But the Gemara continues, Va'ani Omer again, but I say, Eina Genuva, that it's not deceitful. Why? Shalo b'tovas Rebbe Gamliel, ki b'tovas acherim dami, because Rebbe Gamliel was an important person, so automatically that's b'tova. His b'tova is not the same as tovas acherim. In other words, just his very presence is like giving a thanks, is like giving something to the priest, and that's why it's problematic. Rashi says, ki b'tovas acherim shahaya chashav, he was important. V'tova hi lohem kashu nana mehen. It actually is considered that he's giving them some benefit, that he's giving them something good when he derives benefit from them. Hilkach, therefore, ilav merchatz kodem, if not for the fact that the bathhouse preceded the idol, have yasser kolhani. Actually, this actually would be yasser, and therefore it's really not a deceitful answer. And the Gemara continues, Rav Shimi bar Chia, Amar Rav Shimi bar Chia says, Genuvsa mehacha, actually it's deceitful from here, from the following. To Kamar lo, because again, what did he say to him? Zu omedes alabiv, this is standing over the drain, v'chol adam mashtinen b'foneh, everybody urinates in front of it, but v'chi mashtinen b'foneh, I have it, but if they're urinating in front of it, who cares? V'atanan, but we learned in the Mishnah, Rok b'foneh, he spits in front of it, Hishtin b'foneh, he urinates in front of it, Girira, let's say he drags it, V'zorak boas hatzor, let's say he throws feces at it, Harezu ein betela, that doesn't nullify it. And so therefore, what difference does it make? These actions are not going to nullify the Avodah Zara. But Vani Omer, but again, I say, Eina Genuva, that's not deceitful. Because Hasam over there, that Mishnah is talking in situations, Lefi Shaitahu Rasach Allah, V'hadr Mefayis La, that just at the moment he was angry at it, and then he appeases it, so that's why it's not nullified. But Hachabad over here in a bathhouse, Kol Shaita V'Shaita, every single moment, Bezil Zula Kaimut, standing in disgrace, and therefore this is a good response by Rebbe Gamliel. And the Gemara continues, Rabba Barula, Amar Rabba Barula says, Genufta mehach, it's a deceitful response from here, from the following. To Kamar because he said to him, Ein omrin nasa merchatz noi la Aphrodite. We don't say that the bathhouse is an adornment for Aphrodite. Ela nasa Aphrodite noi la merchatz. Rather, it's Aphrodite that's the adornment for the bathhouse. But the Gemara says, even if we said that the bathhouse is an adornment for Aphrodite, my have it, what difference would it make? But we learned in a brisa, if someone says this house is for Avoda Zara, or this cup is for the Avodah Zara. Lo amar klum, he hasn't said anything. As we just said in Rashi above, shein hektish la'avodas kochavim, there is no concept of consecration towards Avodah Zara, and so therefore, even if it was an adornment for the Avodah Zara, it wouldn't matter. But again, but I say ein agnuv, it's not deceitful, because nehide surei lo mitzvah, granted that there's no hektish for Avodah Zara, that it shouldn't be prohibited, but noi mihoika, but it still might be an adornment. And Rashi explains first shein hektish la'avodas kochavim, as we said above, there's no hektish for avodas kochavim ba'amira. Speech alone does not consecrate something for Avodah Zara. As she'ak riveno lefoneh b'tekrovos, you have to bring it before, you have to bring something before the Avodah Zara as an offering. But noi mihoika, but again the Gemara said that it is an adornment, meaning you have a rechitza noi la'avodas kochavim. If the bathing would be an adornment for the Avodah Zara, asur liyafos avodas kochavim, would be asur to beautify the Avodah Zara. Afagav the itzuri lo mitzar merchatz bahana, even though the merchatz itself would not be also to derive benefit from, but there would be a problem again of beautifying, so to speak, the Avodah Zara, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Mem Hey Amud Aleph.